Hey guys, so some things have changed around here. We now have a Mac setup over here. But we're still going to be taking a look at this PC today. This is let's see, well, we're going to need this iFixit kit anyway. This is a Logic Supply, whoop, you can't even see it, Logic Supply Power computer. Have to blare out the key. But it has Windows 10 Pro. It's a 4th gen Core i3 processor. And we're going to be putting in this i7-4770HQ into there. If it hopefully supports it. Hopefully they didn't do any BIOS mods to it. The power supply that we have for this is a... I just knocked the mouse over. Seasonic 80 watt power supply, so that should be more than plenty to power this device. So, we're going to get that CPU installed in here. It's a completely fanless design, so that should make for quiet usability. So, let's get started. Let's get this thing cracked open and see what we can do to the inside. So I've already cracked this thing open once before just to take a look at what you can do to the inside. So on the back there are 4 Phillips style screws here. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those. I think I found a bit that fits. Yep, perfect. There's our one screw. Hopefully you can see this okay. There's 2. There's 3. And here goes 4. So that screws out. So to remove everything else, see if I can do it again. It's really a pain on this one. So you remove this rear faceplate, which we have to remove all of these. So that's where our socket drivers and the iFixit kit come in. That one's too large. Ever so slightly too large, but still too large. That one's too small, but I gotta put one out. So I think ultimately it's gonna be this guy. That's too big now. Honestly, the driver itself, no, it doesn't fit. So this is probably gonna be our closest size and fit to get these out. Do these actually? Alright, that's the right size. Okay, so we got 2 more of these to remove. That one's on a separate piece right there. So technically, as is, you could remove this right now. But we're just going to take all these out just to be safe. There we go. So now this back. Oh, there's two more screws. I didn't even see those. Well, now I probably look absolutely dumb on camera. Okay, there's 6 screws on the back. Didn't even see those there. Oh well. Alright, so we got all six screws removed. So now the plate should just come off. Yep. There's your IO shield type dealio. Now, let's see if the top's just gonna lift off. I've had it off once before, so it might just lift. I might have to separate it again. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do is get out the iFixit extension. Then one of these drivers, which I don't think I'll ever use except for this. Oh, that's kind of rigid. I don't know if that's going to work too well. No, it's not going to work for what I need it for. Well, we're going to have to get something long and flat to jam in there so I can remove that top heatsink assembly, since it's supposed to just like come off. Well, there we go. So you can see there's thermal paste that bonds it. Hopefully I didn't just break everything. Doesn't look like it damaged anything. So then you got an Asus motherboard in here, or ASRock, sorry. With some RAM and everything. So see what we got. I believe we have 8 gigs of RAM in here. Sorry, 12 gigs of RAM in here. And a 120 gigabyte mSATA SSD. Under here is what we want to get to, though. That's our processor. So in order to get at that, we're going to have to remove the motherboard. Oh, I got thermal paste all over my hands. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cleaned all the thermal paste off of my hands, so now we're going to continue on disassembling this guy. So we're going to want to take all these screws out. If you notice, this is a standard motherboard. So in theory, you could put this into a different case and utilize it that way. It's also got a spot you can put a Wi-Fi card or a Wi-Fi module over there. This particular one does not have one in it. Although I do have one in a Samsung laptop up there that I might be able to steal. But I don't know if the metal shell is going to harm it. And there's your motherboard removed out of your chassis. So we can set the chassis aside. And this is what we're going to want to take a look at since we're trying to upgrade that CPU. Now on the bottom there are a couple thermal pad things to dissipate heat. Looks like a lot of dust has gotten inside of this device. So we're going to want to remove the heatsink. So let me get some tweezers out here. There we go. So we can slide this out of the way. There's our current Core i3 processor and chipset. Zoom in a little on that part here. So let's get that old paste off of there. Get it a little clean. And then I'll grab us some new thermal paste while I'm over here. Use some good old Corsair TM30 paste. It looks like it's made good contact. Although those VRMs should probably get some cooling on them as we make our way to higher wattage CPUs. But it looks like this thing is well upkept for. Looks like those VRMs actually got quite hot before. So that might be a consideration that we do eventually. But some nice machined metal there. Now down on this end of processorville, there's no active cooling in this computer whatsoever. So even the chipset requires touching heatsink directly with thermal paste to keep it cool. And same with the processor, obviously. Any processor is going to require direct contact to a heat spreader or heat dissipation surface. You can't just air cool a CPU without like contact to a CPU cooler. So obviously this thing, which has no air cooling capabilities, is no exception to the gang of thermal paste on the CPU. Try to get this as clean as you can without alcohol, and then you can take some isopropyl alcohol afterward, and then you can take that and just go back over all these little chips and stuff. Get all around up in there. There you go. That is a clean processor. So now what we're going to want to do is switch our bit out to, I believe it's a T6 to open this. Could be wrong. Nope, that is the right size. We're going to open the processor latch and get out our new Intel Core processor. We're going to remove that from our packaging. We're going to remove this from the packaging, place it in here, and set that down in our socket, and then you can close that up. Now I is right what these 4th gen processors are because they don't have any sort of identifiers. On them, but it appears that this one wasn't cleaned too well before. But you can go ahead and remove the identifier number once you have it in here. Which I prefer to do, so that way there's no strange smells or anything. Make sure you got that die nice and cleaned off. Clean off your socket a little. There you go. Alrighty, so now what we can do is apply our new thermal paste. If I can get the container open, yep. So you just want to do a little bit on, well, let's start off with this, since I might have to open a new container. Yep, I think we're just think we're just about out of this tube. Maybe I can pump some out there. Actually, that might have just... I think that was just enough to fully cover that die. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Alright, so we've emptied out a can of this. Of course, everything will finish after about a year. Pretty dang impressive. So now it's going to be a long video. So now we can take our heatsink and we can go ahead and reattach that onto here. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and install this motherboard. It's an internal USB port, which is kind of interesting too, so you could leave a operating system boot drive in here. So I guess in an industrial situation would be kind of useful. Alright, now we'll flip this guy around. And I'm not going to put on that top serial port because I really don't need this thing to be airtight. Actually, you know what, I will. So COM3 is up top. We'll go ahead and put that back on. Okay, so then I think this actually just run through here like this, or I can't remember now. Shoot. I think that ran through here like that. Then around, yeah, okay. So we'll go and put this back on. kind of snaps back into place. Then we can go ahead and reinstall our rear serial connections. There we go. So, now we can put that rear panel back on and continue installing our rear I/O screws. Shoot. There's that one. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Ah, there we go. Alright. So I now have it plugged in. I have to do this quick. I'm running out of space on this memory card. So I have it hooked up to the Hacktini's monitor just to see if we get an output. Here we go. That's good. Why is this not focusing? Oh, it's booting into Windows. So that's a good feat right there, I guess. So we've got rocking in here now. Alright, well it appears that it's having some glitches, but yeah, there's my new CPU all rocking and rolling. So see you all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed how to change out your CPU in one of these logic supply things. I'm probably going to have to change the BIOS settings or whatever, but yeah, it seems to have that updated processor. So I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, so I was mistaken. This processor is an i7 4600M, but it does show up correctly in CPU-Z, not in Task Manager obviously, but it is there. So this does have a better CPU in it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. See you on the next one.